All right, so today we're going to switch gears and we're going to go to chapter 10. Chapter 10 is all about circles. 10.1 that we're going to start with is going to go over identifying parts of circles and then solving problems dealing with circumference. So that's where we're going to start off today. You have your new note packet. So if you want to go to the first page of your new note packet, that's where we're going to start. So let me share my notes with you. So here is the first page of the notes, 10.1, circles and circumference. So we have all of these pieces of a circle, and the definitions and the words are going to be important. When we talk about a circle, you know what we're talking about. So the first one, what is a circle, right? A circle is just the set of all coplanar points equidistant from a given point called the center, and it's named by its center. So in this circle, you'll see that in the center here is a point B. So this circle would be called circle B. You name it from the center, right? And you'll notice that all the points on the circle, if you were to measure the distance back from any point to the center, that distance will be the same, which is why it says equidistant. So a circle, a bunch of points that are equidistant from a center point, and we name the circle by the center. A radius is a segment with one endpoint at the center of a circle and the other endpoint on the circle itself. So if you start at the center, in this case B, and you go to the edge of the circle, like up here at D, from B to D, that would be called a radius, right? And that's a line segment, so we'd name it like any other line segment that we've named in so far in geometry. So we name that line segment BD. We would also have a radius BA or a radius BC, right? Line segment BA and line segment BC. A chord is a segment with endpoints on the circle. So if you look here, right, point A is on the circle, point D is on the circle, so line segment AD would be a chord. The diameter of a circle is a chord, but it has to pass through the center of the circle. So point A and C are on the ends of the circle, so it would be a chord, but because it goes through the center, point B, it's a special type of chord called the diameter. The diameter, just so happens, you can see, is twice the length of a radius because it's two radii that make up the diameter. Concentric circles are coplanar circles that have the same center. So if you have like a larger circle and a smaller circle inside of it and they share the same center, that would be concentric circles. And the circumference of a circle is the distance around the circle. So if you were to start here at A and you were to walk around the edge of the circle all the way back until you get to point A, that's called the circumference, right? The distance around the circle. There is a formula for circumference. It's either C equals 2 pi r or C equals pi d. Because two radii are equal to a diameter, you can use either formula. If they give you the radius, right, you put it into 2 pi r. If they give you the diameter, put it into pi d. Either way, those will get you the circumference of your circle. So now there is two examples. So let's switch over here to the document camera and we'll do those two examples together. So the first example, it simply says, right, what is the circumference of a circle with a diameter of 12 inches? So like I told you, we have two formulas. Circumference equals 2 times pi times the radius, or circumference equals pi times diameter, because two radii equal a diameter, you can use either one. Because in this one, they give me the diameter, I'm going to go with this formula here. So the circumference of the circle equals pi times the diameter, which is 12, right? So when you write your answer, usually you put the number in front. So it's going to be 12 pi. And sometimes they'll ask you to leave it in terms of pi. If they do, 12 pi would be your answer. Sometimes they'll say like round to the nearest tenth. So then you would actually type in 12 times pi into your calculator and get an answer that way. So I'll give you both answers. That way, if you want them, you have them. So either 12 pi, or if you plug it into your calculator, to the nearest tenth would be 37.7. Both of these should be labeled, right? Circumference is just a distance around, So whatever your unit is, you use the same unit. So in this case, inches. All right, the second one, it says, what is the radius of a circle with a circumference of 36? So this one, they're asking us to find the radius if they give us the circumference. So I'm going to use this formula here. Circumference is 36, so 36 equals 2 pi r. Well, how do I get rid of that 2 pi if it's being multiplied by r? I'll divide it over. So r is going to equal, well, 36 divided by 2 is 18. So 18 over pi. Or if you want it in decimal form, should be something like 5.7. Right? Both of these are measuring a radius, so that would be in inches as well. So either 18 over pi inches or around 5.7 inches. Just depends what the directions say. Sometimes they'll say leave in terms of pi. Sometimes they'll say nearest tenth, nearest hundredth, change to a decimal, whatever they want to round it to. All right, so let's go back to your notes. We have a few more things we need to go over. So after those two examples, you have two definitions, an inscribed and circumscribed polygon. So an inscribed polygon is a polygon inscribed in a circle. All of its vertices lie on the circle, right? So if you have like a triangle inside of a circle where all of the vertices of the triangle are on the circle, that's an inscribed triangle, an inscribed polygon. Circumscribed is just the opposite. It's a circle circumscribed about a polygon if it contains all the vertices of the polygon. And we're going to see some examples of that here in a second. So it says to go to page 702, number 33, but I have that drawn here, so if you're just following along with the video, you can just look off of my notes here and you won't have to actually get the book out. So number 33 looks like this, right? We have a circle inside of a polygon. In this case, it looks like a square. So the directions to number 33, let me pull them up here. It says, find the exact circumference of each circle by using the given inscribed or circumscribed polygon. So all they've given us down here is the measurement of one of these sides, which is 14 yards. If I want to find the circumference, I need either the radius or the diameter. Well, because the circle touches both sides of this polygon, right, that means that this distance is going to be the same as this distance down here. So if this is 14 yards, this is 14 yards as well. And we know from our definitions, if it goes from one side of a circle through the other, through the center point, that's called a diameter. So I'm going to use my pi times diameter formula. So C is going to be 14 pi yards, and in this case it does say keep in terms of pi, so we'll just keep it 14 pi. If they had asked us, or if you were curious, that would be around 43.98 yards to the nearest hundredth on that one. Just make sure you follow the directions, and especially on a quiz or a test, you answer the question the way it wants you to answer it. All right, so that's it for today. Just some basic terminology on circles and finding circumference or finding a radius given circumference with our two different circumference formulas, 2 pi r or pi times diameter. There's a few more problems in your notes if you want to try them out, and I'll see you next time.